Plarium first mentioned this mech in a dev vlog more than a year ago, back when it was still using the working name Duel. Now, the name Biform has appeared on skins for a mech that still does not exist in the live game. That does not confirm anything, but it is a stronger signal than a random rumor. The current season ends on September 4th, and new seasons usually start on Friday. If Plarium follows the normal pattern, September 11th is the date I would watch. Not a confirmed release date, just the most reasonable window we have. The gameplay here is Salvor with Burrow Beam. It is only a visual stand-in because Biform is supposed to be a legendary support mech with a laser that heals allies and damages enemies. And that description sounds good, but it tells us almost nothing about whether the mech will actually be strong. What matters is not total healing or damage. It is how much arrives during the useful part of the fight. Salvor is a good example. Its healing is split into 3 orbs, so you can quickly focus one damaged teammate, spread the heal, and recover your own HP at the same time. Then it goes on cooldown. The healing arrives quickly enough to affect the fight, instead of looking useful only on the final scoreboard. My concern is that Biform might need to hold the beam for 3 or 4 seconds to deliver meaningful healing or damage. That may not sound long, but it is a huge commitment in Mech Arena. You have to keep looking at one ally or enemy, maintain line of sight, and give that target most of your attention while the rest of the fight keeps moving. If the beam only heals allies and damages enemies, with no slow, disable, or protection for Biform, the mech could be dead on arrival. The enemy can reach cover, break the beam, or simply shoot back while Biform is still trying to finish the channel. But that is based on the very limited description we have. Plarium could still add a mechanic nobody expects, or make the beam much faster in practice. So I am not writing Biform off before we see the release version. So the first thing I want to see is the window. How quickly does the laser start working? How much does it do in the first 2 or 3 seconds? And can Biform switch targets without restarting the entire process? Current fights do not give Biform much time to prove that the beam is useful. Surge lands, and you are already under EMP. Tailsting jams the target and starts dealing damage through its shields. Orion marks one visible mech, and that target can disappear before it reaches cover. If Biform needs several seconds before anything meaningful happens, it is already late. To be fair, the last few releases have not all been strong for the same reason. Tailsting can win a duel the moment Signal Jammer connects. Citadel can walk into a contested beacon, slow everyone down, and shut off movement abilities. Salvor is less oppressive, but its healing arrives quickly enough to save a teammate before the next burst lands. That is the standard Biform has to meet. It does not need to replace all 3 of them, but the laser needs to create a clear advantage while the fight is still happening. Maybe the enemy side of the laser applies a heavy slow while it deals damage. Maybe a target held in the beam cannot attack normally. Maybe the damage ramps up, weakens shields, or rewards maintaining contact. None of that is confirmed, but some secondary effect like this could be the difference between a real competitive support and a mech that produces nice numbers after the fight is already decided. This matters most in CPC and 5v5, where beacon fights give Biform allies to protect and enemies that cannot always leave. In FFA, the damage beam has to justify the entire mech because there are no allies to heal. We also need to know whether Biform can fire its weapons while using the laser. If the ability replaces your normal attack, the heal or damage has to be extremely good. If Biform can keep firing at the same time, even moderate numbers become much more interesting. So Biform is probably the next mech I am watching, but I am not calling it meta from a skin name and one old dev vlog. Give me the range, the first 3 seconds of healing, the first 3 seconds of damage, target switching, cooldown, line of sight, and any additional effects. Then we will know whether Biform is a real support mech or just a very expensive laser pointer.
30 seconds remaining. You